and host of the Uncultured Bias podcast. My man Camara Williams. Camara, so happy that you're here with us. I tried to be really cool, cooler than a Camara Williams Instagram photo shoot and lead you into the topic a few minutes ago. But technology got in the way. So last night, your reaction to Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Man, I watched it live. I'm one of the few Black people in my age group that actually was watching it live. I wasn't watching on Twitter, and only because I wanted to see, if either Will or Denzel was going to win, and I also wanted to see if Questlove was going to win for his film. So it was fascinating because I was watching it, and the Oscars are always like lame jokes. All those awards are lame jokes. So I was kind of halfway watching it when Chris, did his joke. And I wasn't paying attention because I was like, okay, whatever. And so I'm on my phone kind of lit. And then I look down and then I look up and I see Will Smith walking back to his seat. But I was confused because I was like, did he just win an award? What is happening? Why is he on the stage? Because I was like, I hope I didn't miss that he just won an award, because the whole reason I was watching this damn thing. And then it went, the live broadcast, because the 8-second feed, it went totally silent, gone. And so then I'm looking at my TV, why is Chris Rock talking, but I don't hear anything? I'm mad at my television. I'm not even mad at Chris Rock. I'm like, what is happening with my television right now? I see Will Smith, he's talking back, and I'm like, and then obviously, again, I still don't think anything's wrong, but I do think Will Packer, he really messed up. Because he's directing the show. I'm like, he done dropped the ball. This skit's not working. They're having some feed issues. It's a mess. It's a whole mess. It wasn't until Questlove got up on the stage and it was still kind of weird energy in the room. But it really, 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 when it hit me was when Diddy got up on the stage and, he did his thing, try to play mediator. And I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, he was trying to calm everybody down. Hey, we're going to handle this at the goal party. That's when, my slow butt, I was like, oh, this is real. This is something really happened. So, I end up rewinding as I'm rewinding. I don't know if you guys do this on Twitter, because you're trying to figure out, am I the only one seeing what's happening? So you go onto Twitter to confirm the things that you just saw. And as I'm going on Twitter and rewinding it and live, it's trending and it's Will Smith is trending, Chris Rock is trending. And I don't know how people do this so quickly on Twitter. They're they got the video already uploaded, and everything. And it was just crazy. So, but to tell you, I was shocked. I was really shocked. And I was actually disgusted and disappointed. I know there's a lot of people who are really advocating for violence, and everybody's saying, oh, well, Will Smith did what he had to do. And listen, I'm all for protecting yours, right? I'm all about looking out for your people, looking out for your spouse. Don't let nobody, disrespect yours. But I felt like the message could have been handled or could have been delivered in a different way. Either the way he did it in his seat, cursing him out, or getting up on the stage and telling him, listen, don't do that. Don't do that. But you don't have to put your hands on somebody. You don't have to put your hands on somebody. And Casey, you put your hands on somebody, then you should expect repercussions. You just don't put your hands on somebody and not expect somebody to do some type of retaliation against you.
Mm-hmm. Which Chris Rock didn't do.
Right. Which he didn't do.
And Chris Rock, by the way, that's one thing we didn't point out. He did a hell of a job of
what a performance by him.
Finishing that segment, and as you noted, making sure Questlove got that Oscar from him.
Mm-hmm. Right. Which not a lot of people are talking about that. I understand that what Chris did was rude and disrespectful about the joke, and there's conversations about the level of the joke, because we grew up children of the 80s, so we've heard all sorts of jokes, and I don't want to get into that really wasn't that bad of a joke, because some people were oh, that was over the top. I don't want to grade jokes. I don't want to grade what level to be insulted with, but let's just say that joke was in poor taste. Let's give that to Will. Chris Rock's reaction to not only respond, his lack of response, but carrying the show forward so that Questlove can get his Oscar, and then not like retaliating against Will, and then post Oscar not pressing charges. There has to be a round of applause for Chris Rock. Like that is, I'm not, and I know that's really unpopular to say because on right now social media like go Will Smith, but I think when things die down, you're gonna have to like really think about like, man, like that could have went left really, really bad. That could have went bad. Hold on, if I walk up to you, I've known you for almost 20 years. If I walk up to you and I slap you in the face and I turn my back and walk away, do you think that's the end of that conversation? Or are you gonna like, oh wait, hold on, Playboy? Like we're gonna have to deal with that. Like, is that gonna happen to you?
Well, see, and that's the thing Kenny and I were talking about before you joined us is I think we take this assumption because they're two figures in Hollywood, particularly black figures in Hollywood that are, as Kenny laid out perfectly, they're legends. They are legitimately legendary figures in their fields. Right. We assume they're friends.
I don't assume they're friends though.
Well, so I'm go ahead, Casey.
I was just gonna say on the flip side, RIP flip side, I'll be back soon. Because I thought about it more after you said it. The reaction of Chris may lend itself to the fact that they're maybe cooler than we thought. Because if we're not cool and you do that, let's go. Because I don't like you anyway. Like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, there's also the stun factor of this dude just did this. Like, yo, we ain't, like I said earlier, we ain't at the Source Awards.
Right.
We're at the freaking Oscars.
And but it would have turned into the Source Awards real quick, though. Because had that been me, it would have been the 2000 Source Awards. I don't care. I would have apologized to Lupita. Like, I'm sorry, Lupita. I'm sorry I'm jumping on this table, but I'm going to have to handle this. I'm sorry.
But like, and that's and I think that's the crux
on this table.
I can see
it's going to be a lot of table moving. You know, a lot of furniture moving.
We try to put ourselves in the position of both of these guys. We try to put ourselves in the position of Chris Rock, and we try to put ourselves in the position of Will Smith and how we would have handled each of these situations. But neither of us, none of us, no one listening to this has ever been in a situation where you're presenting an award at the Oscars.
Right.
More so, and I know this is uncomfortable for some people, you're a black dude presenting an award at the Oscars. You're essentially, as I just tried to use the phrase earlier, Camara, that incident took place in mixed company. Which has amplified it like by 1,000 times is because it happened at the Oscars.
Right. And so let's keep walking down that road, right? It happened in front of mixed company. Let's do two scenarios. Let's say they are good friends, right? We've known each other for years, right? Or we're not like close, but we know each other very well, right? Because we're cool. Mm-hmm. We're in front of mixed company. If it's in front of mixed company and you do that to me, it's still gonna be retaliation. Be like, wait a minute, bro. Like you done overstepped the line here. Like you put your hands on me. I've never put my hands on you. Mm-hmm. That's a problem. If it's a mixed company and we're not friends, that's even more egregious. Mm-hmm. Because now you've forced me to react, and now I have to break process. How do I want to react in front of these people? Like, how do I want to, not only do I have to carry your water, now I have to carry my water. Because am I going to sit there and make you look bad even further by, tussling up this tuxedo because we're about to go, it's go time? Or do I like, all right, I have to keep pressing forward. And that shows the ultimate line of professionalism. And let me make this clear. I'm not chastising Will for having a human moment. Human moments happen, right? Mm-hmm. But it still doesn't take away the fact that he did an unwarranted felony on an individual. He wasn't threatened. He wasn't accosted. He wasn't assaulted. Assault and battery. I don't know. I don't want to assume everybody knows the difference between assault and battery. Can I explain it a little bit?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So an assault is if somebody, it puts fear. Like I'm walking up to KC. Right now, let's say right now we're over streaming. and I threaten KC. I'm all the way in Florida. KC's in California. There is no real level of fear from KC that I'm like I'm gonna put my hands on KC because whatever, I'm over here. But if let's say I'm in studio with KC and I get up to KC and I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Wear that Oakland A's hat again and see what happens. And I flip it off your head. Right. Or I just kind of like I intimidate, like I'm about to put my hands on your person. That's an assault because now there's a real life, and I'm not saying Casey's intimidated, but you have to understand the law. There's a level of intimidation that goes into that. That's assault. When it becomes battery is that if I take my hand and I flip it off your head, and that's part of your person's, or if I put my hands on you, that's battery. Will Smith did both an assault by walking up to him. Chris Rock's hands was behind him. So you notice his hands wasn't, he didn't say, he didn't swing on him. He didn't intimidate that he's about to, react. His hands Chris Rock did what he was supposed to do. And a lot of people was like, oh, what did Chris Rock think was getting ready to happen? I'm going to say that Chris Rock knew he was about to get slapped. I'm going to say it because if in fact you put your hands behind, because I'm not trying to look like I'm trying to fight you. So I'm going to put my hands behind my back to show that there's no level of aggression. So you can't say he was getting ready to swing on me. So that was all on Will Smith. All on Will Smith to institute a battery on somebody that didn't deserve to be battered. I don't care what anybody says. That joke did not give the rise to somebody getting a felony put on them.
See, I just don't think that's our. I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's our. You just said you're not going to grade jokes, but you're also judging a joke right there because that joke wasn't about you or that joke wasn't about your wife. You feel like his remarks didn't warrant Will Smith's response, and I don't think that's our place.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at it legally. I'm not looking at it like
legally. There's no conversation to be had here.
Legally, there's no. And that's the framework
away from him. There's nothing to say here legally.
Yeah,
but
legally, he was in the wrong 1 through 10. He was in the wrong. It didn't prompt the response. That's where I'm coming from. Wow. Now if it was, emotionally, if it was just like, person-wise, you're right. We can't grade the level of insult. And I still may come back on that side of like, it still didn't level that type of response to put your hands on somebody, because I don't believe in putting my hands on somebody unless I know I'm ready to go to war with somebody.
All right. Well, look, and I'll say this because Damien, I agree. Like, however they took the joke is how they take the joke, and that's kind of all that matters, right?
Right.
But maybe we're older. Do we remember who G.I. Jane was? It wasn't like he called her Smeagol. G.I. Jane was a badass. Like, she was the truth. Demi Moore in that movie was the truth. So it's not like he called her. It's not like he called her something demeaning. It's kind of what I'm saying. Does that matter to Jada and Will? Absolutely not. That's how they took it. But if you know who G.I. Jane was, that's not an insult necessary to call her that.
So I'm gonna flip that on you. I'm gonna flip that on you though, Casey. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm West Indian. I grew up at a time, and I'm dating myself here. I'm Jamaican, and at the time in junior high, it was Cool Runnings. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool Runnings, they're they're the protagonists in the film. They're the heroes in the film, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times would I call Cool Runnings in middle school that it irritated the hell out of me?
Mm-hmm.
Now somebody could be like, yo, they were the heroes. They won, they got respect. I'm like, yo, I'm not Cool Runnings. Stop calling me Cool Runnings.
I can imagine. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like and so you might be like, it wasn't a bad movie. It was cool. These guys were, and they were funny. It was engaging, but I'm like, yo, I'm not Cool Runnings. So don't put that on me to make me feel, but at the same time,
right.
I never thought to myself, I'm going to get in a fight because somebody called me Cool Runnings, even though it irritated me to no end. I just didn't. That just wasn't my. That's not what I thought.
It's like when they call me and Kenny Kid and Play.
Right. We cool. We cool with it, right? But also, Camara, and you're 100% right about the Cool Runnings and G.I. Jane thing. But that's also how you decided to handle it. Right. And we can't, I may not like it, but I can't tell Will or Jada how to handle what they deem as disrespect. Can't. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have handled it that way, but I can't say you feel disrespected, that you're wrong, or not, but like you should have the same type of cool demeanor that I did when I was disrespected, you know, and handle that. And
I
those
don't know.
moments, when somebody feels offended that way, it's kind of hard for people how to react on that level.
It's a slippery slope, because what we're talking about now is a comedian. We're going back to the same sense. He's a comedian. So I saw somebody on Twitter being like, "Oh, comedians now, they need to know they could be chin checked," and I'm like, none of y'all have ever sat in the front row of a comedy show before? Like,
yeah, but it's not the same thing.
Comedy show.
But it's not.
No,
the
but
same
what I'm
thing.
saying, it's an entertainment, but it's a venue to where you expect, like, I have never been to the Oscars, but we all expect it's fair game to, like, okay, someone sees in the crowd, I'm gonna make a joke about this person. I mean, you expect that level of, you know, okay, case in point, I go to award shows or galas here, and I'm going to another one this weekend. So the Instagram is gonna be fly, Damien, just so you know. But
I believe it.
Go to another one this weekend, and it's called the Eagle Awards down here. And I know the host, you know, he's on Anchor, a good friend of mine. And I've been in the past, and you know, we're good friends, we're on a group chat. If he decided in the past, he's kind of like made a select joke. Oh, I see Camara in the crowd, and he makes a smart little joke, right? I wouldn't be like, yo, bro, you're on the microphone and emceeing in front of like hundreds of people, you know, like 1,000 people here. Like, why do you want to call my name out? I was like, oh, okay, you got me a joke. You got me. You got me. I'm sitting at the table. He sees me, makes a quite like people chuck in the crowd. It's whatever. That's on a low level. But even then, you expect like to be. I even expect this weekend. I expect it to be like it'd be a joke or whatever. I'm not saying that environment was a comedy show, but I am saying there is a level of expectation to where if you're in the crowd, you expect, you know, them. You know how it goes. They make a joke. The camera pans on you to see your reaction. You know, boom, there it is, right? So I think there's a slippery slope here when you start talking to people and you start seeing it on social media, like, oh, everybody can get touched. You know, comedians need to know they need to watch their mouth on how they say anything. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We are co-signing for somebody making a joke on a stage to where you now are going to allow people to, like, we're giving carte blanche to, like, to run up and fight somebody. That's not how, because that's crazy. Because where does that stop? Where does that stop?
Well, like you tweeted this perfectly last night. Like, it's not what Will Smith did is one thing. You don't try that at the Punchline this weekend,
right?
Because that felony that Will Smith didn't get, you're gonna get it. And there's a good chance the comedian on that stage isn't going to respond the way Chris Rock did. And I sure as hell know that the security at the comedy club isn't going to respond the same way. This isn't a real life situation.
Right.
This is a situation that's exclusive to Hollywood. This isn't a dude in the front row of the Punchline or Laughs Unlimited getting in their feelings because someone told him a joke. Go ahead, try that response Will Smith had and see how it goes. It's not going to go.
You're going to treat you like Triple H treated that fan that tried to attack Stone Cold.
That's right. You're going to get revived from that stuff real quick. If you want more, go ahead, pardon my bad, Kamar.
Go ahead. No,
I was just going to plug the podcast, man, because I was going to make you talk about disrespect. What I was going to tell people, if you want more on this topic, and just one of the absolute best podcasts you can find, Camara hosts a podcast called Uncultured Bias that's available here on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast from. And I know you're about to go record a new episode on this incident, which I'm certainly looking forward to hearing. I'm sure it'll be 2.5 to 3 hours long, but I'm definitely looking forward to hearing it.
I'm trying to keep this one like, okay, here's the funny thing. I already recorded a pod based off of the nominations and the hijinks. And so now I'm like, I can't release that pod. I release every Tuesday. I can't release that pod. And because that's not, people are not going to really care about that. They're like, I want to know Denzel. So I'm actually going to release both pods. So this one I'm doing on the whole, I said Denzel Will, on this whole Will Smith thing. I'm actually going to release both of them, but I'm going to try to keep this one under like an hour because that's a lot to listen to for 2 separate pods dropping. But I just want to touch on, some issues that, probably won't be relevant if I wait another week.
Nah, your podcast hit, man. It'll be good stuff. But since we were talking so much about disrespect, I just wanted you to explain to all of us why you didn't go watch the Sacramento Kings when they were in Orlando on Saturday. Because I mean, feels disrespectful to me.
Well, I was actually at a Berkeley dinner.
No,
it's not good.
Not good enough.
It's not good enough. Okay, I was at a birthday dinner.
You could have watched Alex. You could have watched Alex Lynn pour in 22 minutes and 15 points at the Amway Center.
Let me tell you what would have been disrespect. Disrespect would have been for me to pay money to go see 2 bottom barrel teams, waste my time about bad basketball. That would have been disrespectful. Okay, so pay for parking, pay for tickets.
Not good.
That you don't think that's disrespectful? Putting out a product on the court.
You gotta suck it up. Man up.
Listen
stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up.
You gotta take one on the chin for the Sacramento Kings when they come to your city for the one and only time all year.
Listen, the results are still, trash. They can't win when we need them to win, and they can't lose when we need them to lose.
How do you feel about the Kings? Like as a fan that watches them from afar, is there a level of hope that you have for this team next year, or does the 16 years just weigh on you? Like when you look at the actual team, Sabonis is here, Fox is playing well. Get them all together for a whole year. They played these tough games against playoff teams. Yada yada yada. Are you looking at it like maybe they got something going, or is it just same old Kings?
No, it's not same old, but I just need to see more. I need to see them build out the roster because we've seen them when they've had 1 or 2 good starters on the team. And was it Sam Amick who said the problem is the Kings have 3 good starters. The problem is the great thing is the Kings have 3 good starters. The problem is they need 5. And so no, I'm not going to get excited because they have 3 starters on the team. Like I need to see them round out their roster, and I need to see a vision on that court that is executed. I talked to D about this off. We talked over the phone last week about how I didn't believe in the whole stacking thing. I didn't believe
that's the first thing he said. Yeah, I call him. Okay, he doesn't even say hi. He goes, "Yo, first thing I want to tell you, I didn't fall for that whole stacking days nonsense." All right.
Not even a greeting. I was gonna let you know. I was not on that.
I got the receipts. He in fact did not. He was not buying it a bit.
No, I just because what I need to see in order to get hopeful, I need to see a roster change. But I need to see a coach. I need to see the roster change, and I need to see a mentality environment change. When I see those things, then I'd be like, all right, we might be onto something. But this team is irreparably broken spiritually. And the fan base is broken.
Camara, I hear everything that you're saying. You're right. I don't even need all that. I just need wins. Like if the culture is better, if they're feeling better, and they're looking hard and playing hard as a team, and they're 5-15 to start the season, I don't care about the culture.
Yeah.
All I want is to see winning basketball. That's the only thing that matters at this point. It's the only thing that matters, because if they don't win, people are going to start losing their job or continue to lose their job. So
I don't even think that matters to people losing their jobs. I think the players, I don't think they care. And I think that's the problem. They don't care. And I mean, we got rid of one cancer and Buddy. And I'm sure there's some others on the team that probably need to be shipped out as far as lack of care. But One thing I will say, I want to see De'Aaron start off with fire. I don't want to see that too cool for school. You know, for the first 3 months of the season, like it's gonna be cool. Don't worry about it. Like I need to see him like it's March, and I'm trying to put numbers up. I want to win games. You know, I want to start off like I'm trying to make a point in this league. And I think that trickles down. You see now with Memphis, they don't even need Ja Morant, right? I'm not saying they don't need him, but they don't even need. Yeah. But they don't even need like his presence in order to continue winning game. Because why? Because he's established that it's important. The culture showed your number one guy established like this is important. This matters. These games matter. When I'm going down the lane in November and I'm finishing, it matters. Like, you know what I mean? When I'm hitting a free throw, it matters. And that resonates with the team because they look at it like, oh yeah, it matters. All of it matters. But when you got your lead guard, you know, shrugging his shoulders, you know, showing up like it's no big deal, you know, it's just his demeanor. And I like De'Aaron, I like him, but I think it transfers over to the team.
Well, I think that's the one thing we all agree on is we need late season Fox to start the season Fox on fire. And we need you to check out Camara's Uncultured Bias podcast. Camara, we appreciate you so much for being with